Good morning everyone. Today we will study the sex determination in animals. This is another part of the chapter Principles of Inheritance and Variation. So how is sex determined in most of the organisms? In different organisms we have two sets of chromosomes. One is known as autosomes and the other is known as sex chromosome, and generally there is a pair of sex chromosome in every individual where we have this chromosomal determination of sex. It can be of two different types. One is male heterogamety and the other is female heterogamety. What do I mean by male heterogamety? That means the sex chromosome which is present in males are heterogeneous in nature, and female heterogamety means the sex chromosomes which determines the sex are heterogeneous in nature. Let us see this with an example. Male heterogamety, that means the sex chromosome which determines the male sex will be heterogamous. So there are two types of male heterogamety. One is XX XY type and the other is XX XO type. This means this is one set of sex chromosome, this is another set of chromosome. Similarly here also, this is one set of chromosome, this is another set of chromosome for different sex. Because it is male heterogamety is there, this one will represent the male. In here also, this will represent the male, and the homozygous chromosomes will represent the female. So this is representing the female here, this is representing the male. So here also female and male. So because they are homozygous in nature, they produce only one type of gamete. So all the eggs that is produced will have X in their egg. But here we have two different type of sperms having X and Y respectively. Here also we have same type of gamete for females, that is only X, and here we have only one type of gamete, that is X. O means there is no chromosome for that. So we have, what will happen if X goes with X, we will have a female, and if X goes with Y, we will have a male. Here also if X goes with X, a female will be produced, and if X goes with 0, that is no chromosome is there, a male will be produced. So this one and this one is representing the male and XX are the female. Who is determining the sex? It is the male who will determine the sex, because they are different. Females are same, they are always contributing the same X chromosome, so they are not responsible for determining the sex in male heterogametic cases. If you look at female heterogamety, the females will determine the sex, and in this case if you look at this is an example of human being, so this kind of sex determination. This is an example of grasshopper. Grasshopper have XX/X0 type of sex determination. In case of female heterogamety, we have ZW type and ZZO type. Because female is heterogametic in nature, this will represent the female and this will represent the female. This is for male, this is for female. Similarly, this one is for male and this is for female. So this will produce only one type of gamete, that will have Z, and these will produce two different types of eggs, one with Z, other with W. Here also we will have only one type of sperm, that will have Z. All the sperms that will be produced will have Z, and here one of the eggs will have Z, the other will not have anything. So in this case, what will happen? If this will combine with this, we will have a male. If this combines with this, we will have a female. Here also, if you look at this, this will combine with this to produce the male, and this will combine with this to produce the female. So ZW and ZO are representing the females, whereas ZZ represents the males. So who will determine the sex in this case? Females will determine the sex in this case. But it is not always that chromosomes are only responsible for determination of sex. In case of animals, there are certain other factors also which determine the sex, and one of those factors is temperature. Temperature also determines sex in certain reptiles. How can temperature determine what sex is going to be developed? It is that incubation of eggs at certain temperature, if it takes place at low temperature, in case of crocodiles and lizards, it is a female. The same egg, if it is incubated at high temperature, it will result into a male. But in case of turtles, just the opposite happens. At high temperature, we have a female, and at low temperature, we have a male. So temperature also determines the sex of an individual in case of some reptiles, especially the crocodiles, lizards and the turtles. In case of crocodiles and lizards, if the egg is incubated at low temperature, the result will be a female lizard or crocodile. If it is incubated at high temperature, the result will be a male. But in case of turtles, if it is incubated egg is incubated at a high temperature, result will be a female, and if egg is incubated at a low temperature, it will result into a male. Another way of determining sex is seen in Drosophila. Here, ratio of autosome by X chromosome, the number of autosome and the X chromosome will determine what will be the sex of the individual. If the ratio comes to 0.5, the individual will be a male. If the ratio comes to 1, the individual will be a female. But if the ratio is somewhere between 0.5 and 1, it is going to be an individual who is known as gynandromorphs. That means having the character of both male and the female. It can be less than 0.5 also. If it is less than 0.5, it is a super male. But if it is more than 1, it is super female. So we have 5 different types of sex in case of Drosophila. It can be a male, it can be a female, it can be a gynandromorph, it can be a super male, and it can be a super female. Super female. Okay. So this is how we determine sex in Drosophila, by finding the ratio between the number of autosomes by the number of X chromosomes. Let us take example of honeybee. Honeybee lives in colonies, and those colonies have 3 different types of individual. One is known as drone, the other is known as worker, and the third one is the queen. Only queen in this honeybee's society produces eggs. All the others are doing different types of works. So queen will produce egg if the egg is unfertilized that means it will have haploid set of chromosome, it will result in 2 drones which are male, and it will result with the help of a process called parthenogenesis. And if the egg is fertilized, sex will be determined by what kind of food it gets. If it is fed with royal jelly, it will result into a queen, which will be a female. But if it is fed with bee bread, it will result into a female, but these females will be sterile and are known as workers. This drone is used to fertilize produce the fertilized egg with the help of queen. One thing that we have to remember here is, in case of honeybee, there is only one queen. So this generally does not take place every time. This will take place only when this queen becomes very old and she is not able to produce more eggs, that this queen comes into existence. Let us take another example of free martin in calves. Free martins are dizygotic twins. Dizygotic twins in case of calves. Dizygotic means 2 different zygotes are developed, and this will develop into 1 female and 1 male calf individual. But what happens in this case, this development of male is fast compared to development of female. This is very slow. So it results in a sterile female and a fertile male. What happens, because the development of male is fast, it starts producing the male hormone, and that regresses the development of female and results into a sterile female. So this is another example how male and female are decided. If the development is fast, that will result into a male. If the development is slow, that will result into a female. So these are different ways by which sex is determined in animals. Hope you enjoyed the learning. Do subscribe the channel and click on the bell icon to get the notification whenever a new video is released. If you liked it, do share it with your friends. Thank you for watching.